I can see you and hear you now. How are you
Okay,
doing, man? So, man,
I'm fine.
firstly, firstly, I have to say that I am sitting here today, man, because of you guys as well. I come from a movie retail background, and I sold the shit out of Inside. I sold the shit out of the Divide, and I had a good following that used to come and buy all your movies. So that's why I started Moviehooker, because of just to keep recommending more extreme stuff and the more sort of the darker side of cinema, let's say. So anyway, I just have to say that I am sitting here, and it's an honor to talk to you, man.
Thank you so much. That's really cool to hear.
Yeah, man. So yes, the Soul Eater. Let's talk about it. It's really, really good, man. I actually checked it out on in Fantasia Film Festival, so I did. So what I want to ask first is, what was it like? Maybe I'm wrong, but this is the first time that you have actually adapted something from a novel rather than writing a screenplay. So what was that like?
Yeah, that's the first time that we are starting from a book, a novel, and but we didn't wrote the adaptation, the first draft of the movie. Um, it was a very simple story. Like our producer, who already produced our third movie, called Among the Living,
Hmm.
called us because we are in good terms, since that time, and he said, "Okay, I have bought the right of this French novel. It's a dark thriller. I know that it's not the type of movie you are into usually, but I think this one, worth the to look at it." And so we did, but we were at that time like writing a new project, and we were really like in a rush. And we said, okay, it's really interesting, but we cannot write the adaptation. This is something that we have never done before, and we feel that it's going to be like huge work. And so he hired like a duo of script writers, and they did the adaptation. And so we arrived on board after that, like to write, the shooting script. And
Hmm.
but yeah, that this is something uh, different for us, because I think the one of the main issues we had to face is that, in a novel, and especially in a thriller, you have to give a lot of informations, to the readers, and so to translate it into a movie, it's kind of tricky, because you have to give those informations to the audience, but you of course don't want to have a too talkative movie and too boring movie.
Hmm.
So this was a something like that was, for us, something to be careful with, because just until the editing process, we were like, very um, anxious to find the right balance.
hmm And what was your like? I would say that the town in the Soul Eater is that it's very much a character as well in the film. What was the location scouting really like? How did you come? How did you end up where you did, and whereabouts is it in France for a start?
um, it's in the east of France, the east of the country. It's a region called Les Vosges, and it's like a small mountain area, like you see in the movie, and
Hmm.
a very remoted area. Like, you have a lot of forests, and the deep forest, and um, and it was kind of easy, because um, in the novel, this region was like kind of mentioned, and when you know the region, you knew that it was taking place there, the action, I
Hmm.
mean, and so we with Alexander, we love this region because there is an horror fantasy festival taking place there. It's
Ah,
the
okay.
Gérardmer, the Gérardmer Festival, and
Okay.
Alex has
Hello.
joined.
Hi, Alexander.
Hello. I'm sorry to be late.
You're fine, man. How are you doing?
I'm tired. It's Wednesday, and Wednesday it's hell in France because we have kids at home.
Ah, okay. I get you, man.
Oh,
No
sorry,
problem.
Gary. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I was just saying to Julian, Alexander, that you guys are partly the reason that I am sitting here today talking to you guys. So I used to work in movie retail, and I sold a lot of inside, and I sold a lot of Levite. And when my shop shut down, I started up Moviehooker to keep recommending stuff like yours. So here I am today talking to you guys. So it's like, so there.
Thank
I
you.
said my little bit, but I was just talking to Julian then there about the town in the Soul Eater very much being a character in the film, and as Julian was saying, it's it's a very remote area where you feel like not a lot of people come to the town, and whoever come, like not lot of people even leave the town. So when stuff goes down, there's not a lot of help around, apart from whoever's in the town. And if you understand.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was saying that we used to go to this festival, like taking place in the same region,
Mhm.
and each time we go there, it's always a blast because we said we should shoot a movie there. It's like, there is a big lake surrounded with these small mountains and full of forests, and there are always like mist, everywhere, and
Mhm. Beautiful.
this really particular atmosphere of, the as if the life has left the place. There is a
Yeah.
lot of villages and small towns where there is nobody remaining. Always like, only like old people, retired people. And so, as we when we were scouting, we were like, walking into these small towns like without facing anyone. Like we were like alone, like walking, and all of these houses closed with the shutter closed. It's kind of really striking atmosphere and very sad. And when we discovered the town where we shot the movie, um, it was like obvious because you could feel that this place used to be a very like fancy place, and with great architectures,
Yeah.
and now everything is like almost collapsing and everything is closed, and plus the environment, the nature all around it gave really the feeling of an abandoned place. So it was
Yes.
perfect for us
True.
to set this story there.
Uh-huh. Definitely. And what would you guys as a duo filmmaking team, like since 2007, like so it's a long. Do you guys wake up and what's your shot process? Who does what?
uh yeah, you're right. It's been like almost 20 years that we work together now, and we have developed like a way of working together, because especially because we know each other so well, that it kind of it became easy. And but basically there is no like um work, uh like, splitting work or stuff like that. It's we as much as we can, we work on all of the aspect of the making of the movie together. Like there is not like one talking to the actors while the other one is talking to techniques. You know, we always change these roles, and that's because we are on the same page. And you know, for 20 years we never had any argument, and we always work, you know, a lot before the shooting to be sure to talk with the same voice on the set. And
Yes.
and so it's really a gain of time, because yeah, we can, as soon as we know exactly what we want, we can at that time we can split. You know, one can go on, you know, to talk to the DOP, for example, and the other one can go and talk to another member of the crew or the actors, and but for this one, for the Soul Eater, it was kind of much more complicated because we didn't have all the budget that the movie required, and so we didn't have many time to shoot it, so we had to basically split and have like two shooting teams, and at the sometimes at the unfortunately at the same time, and so we had to split, and this was kind of frustrating, and because that's not the way we think about, you know, directing. You know, this is something we like to share, you know, and so, but anyway.
Brilliant.
But to be honest, Julien is more technical than me at the origin, because me, I was journalist before working in cinema business, so I was a writer. I wrote scripts and I wrote articles from Mad Movies, who is like Fangoria in USA, you know.
Okay.
And when I decided to go to the other side and to make movies, I was looking for a guy with a strong technical experience. And Julien was perfect, because Julien was camera operator on TV sets, a lot of TV sets, and has done a lot of shots who were very incredible, because Julien's shots were shot without money, but with a great technical vision, you know what I mean? And
yes.
For us, it was the good, how do you say, alliance, Julien? The good team.
Yeah. Glue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The writer,
Yes,
the technical guys, and then now we are at the same page now with 7 movies. But at the beginning, it was more, I am the writer, Julien is more the operator, but then we are the same.
So like back when, that must have been a very interesting conversation, say about 2006, 2005, maybe, when you came up with the idea for Inside. And, you know, if you guys are going to work together on something that's so, like, you know, so pretty extreme. I've got an idea for a movie. It's about a pregnant woman. It's about another woman's going to come in and she's going to cut the kid out of her stomach. It's like, yeah, let's do it. So you guys like are a dream team, really, like, you know, which is really, really cool, man. Really, that's awesome. Like, so it is. I want to also, this is your second film dealing with folklore. So, like this one, The Soul Eater, and your one, Candisha.
Yeah, and I didn't got it. Like you said, what did you say? It's our second movie. What?
This is the second time that you've dealt with folklore.
Oh,
like,
folklore.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, that's my accent right as well. Sorry. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No,
it's
right.
okay. Don't worry. Do not talk about accent with us. You know, with our French accent. It's
my accent is horrible, Gary. So I'm
no,
so,
it's not. No, I
so
can understand
sorry.
you guys. I can understand you guys perfect.
But you're totally right. That is the second time that we are doing a folklore horror movie. But for Candisha, it's totally different, because, like, I don't know if Julien told you, sorry, but The Soul Eater is an adaptation from a novel.
Yes,
a French novel, very well known
C'était
novel.
la première question, ouais.
Okay, sorry. And the monster is totally created by the writer of the novel. it doesn't exist in folklore in France. The solitaire doesn't
Yes,
exist.
I get
It
you. Yes,
exists
yes, yes.
only in this book and now in this movie. But for Kandisha, it's totally different because Kandisha is a typical creator from the Morocco's folklore, from Morocco.
Yes, yes.
And since I'm a kid, I have a lot of friends who are from their sorry, but their origins are from Morocco, and since I was a kid, I heard about the story of Kandisha because my question was, what is your biggest fear when I was kid? And all my friends from Morocco told me Kandisha, Kandisha, Kandisha. Each time it was Kandisha. So what is Kandisha? So we explore the myth and say, wow, it's incredible. And it can be cool to make a crossover with Kandisha with a typical folklore Morocco style and a figure, and to put it in a, in a hood.
Yes, yes, in the suburbs. Yes, yes.
Yes, in the suburbs. Sorry, but that we try to do Kandisha with totally for us original, if I can say that. But
yeah. And what about how can I word this? Like the violence on screen in the Soul Eater is pretty much off screen. You know, we don't really get to see these like really barbaric, horrible acts happen. So, what was it like not shooting the terror and the carnage behind an actor while doing a kill scene to just having the deaths already set up and having it more of a procedural police drama?
You know, showing the horror, showing the gore is something that is in our DNA, and we this is like, you know, like reflexes for us. When we rewrote the script, when we wrote the shooting script, we added a lot of violence, and especially the sequence in the end of the breakfast sequence. And because for us it was like kind of obvious. We always think as an audience, you know, we always think what is the audience going to feel at that moment. And we had like this frustration, and we were like, okay, we need to show, and because it's kind of a payoff. We are talking during the whole investigation, the whole story about you know, how people are getting crazy, and how this violence mayhem is popping up, but we never see it. You know, it's always like, as you said, like we always only see the result. And so we felt like frustrated, and we said we need to show it, and at one point, and especially in the end, you know, because it's the climax. And we also shot much more you know, violent sequences. We shot like nightmare sequences, very gory one, and with two. We also shot a different ending, and there are many moments that we decided to cut off during the editing process, because as I said, we realized that naturally, when we tell a story, we are playing with the, we know, with the scare and the jump scares, and this is part of our, you know, cinematic vocabulary. And but when we were in the editing, sitting in the editing room, our editor pointed us something very interesting, like, okay, for example, guys, at this moment you have this jump scare is very efficient. You know, the audience is going to like to jump, you know, the hell, and but it's a trick, you know, it's a movie trick. And the problem is that when you have a jump scare, you remind the audience that they are watching a movie. You know, they are like, wow, okay, this one was great. So I am, you know, I am, expecting the next one now. And he pointed to us the fact that when we were like, going too far into the horror, we were like kind of losing emotion with our characters, and
Okay, yeah.
so we decided to remove one of those. Then the second part, the nightmare sequence, and at one point we realized that we were like much, we had shot much more of a horror movie than a thriller, a dark thriller, and so that wasn't the story we were meaning to tell. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We
Yes.
So we decided to focus much more on the police, investigation, and then on the effects.
Mm-hmm. And you're talking now about some like deleted scenes, some scenes that didn't make it. So do you reckon there's going to be a Blu-ray release with these scenes included in extra features, maybe a director commentary as well?
No audio commentary, but you have in the French Blu-ray, in the extras, you have all these sequences.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Brilliant. So guys, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's really. I think that's everything. What's next for you guys? You said that you were writing something when you were approached for the Soul Eater. So what were you guys working on, and are you working on it now?
We are working on Christmas.
I suppose, yes.
Because it's almost Christmas. No. To be honest, Gary, we have a lot of projects
Mm-hmm.
at different states of development.
Mm-hmm.
But just now, at this time, we can't say what will be our next projects, because we are waiting for 2 green lights. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And it's a question of casting in a part for a project with an American project. We are back in USA. And
okay.
for the other one, it's a French project, but we are still dealing with the producer around the script,
Mm-hmm. Cool.
But
And
we
what's it
hope.
like? What's it like in the USA? Would you like going over and doing that getting a little break away from France and going over to the US and making something in like the English language, like the Deep House and Leatherface? That's it, isn't it? I think so.
yeah. But we it didn't make any difference for us, except the fact that Leatherface is a different story, because the movie wasn't really well released, and it was like a straight to video release, almost everywhere. And but with the Deep House, of course, having English language movie is an easier way to sell it worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And so and this movie was our, like, the one that worked the best among all of our movies. And and beside the fact that it's like a hooky pitch, I think the language is is an asset to have a better distribution. And but for us, we've always wanted to tell cool stories and good stories. So we don't care if it's in
Yeah.
French, in English, or if it's a script that we haven't wrote, but this, as soon as we are like, we feel a connection with the story, and we feel like we can bring it into our universe with
Mm-hmm.
Alex, is something that interests us.
Like I would say, like I worked for 17 years in movie stores, and I started watching what I would call French would be foreign cinema. I started watching stuff with subtitles because everything was so much the same with all these American horror movies. It was just so repetitive. So I found a whole new love for cinema and I don't even read books or anything, but I love watching subtitled cinema. And that is so frustrating when you say something like that, especially when some of your films are like unreal, and they deserve a wide audience. But like having subtitles, it's like Bong Joon-ho said, once you get over the 1 inch barrier of subtitles, you will be introduced to many more amazing films. And yeah, I just like
Yeah,
that is,
definitely.
yeah, it's sad, but
And
if the
what
deep house
about Irish horror?
Irish horror, yes, man, yeah, there's a really good one here. I hold. So this is called The Ghost.
The
So it is
Ghost?
The Ghost. It's the first ever Irish language horror movie, and it played at Fright Fest. It's very 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 good. If you be into like Ben Wheatley movies, A Field in England, he done. It's very very atmospheric, but it's wonderful to see it in the Irish language. Again, subtitles. So again, you're restricting your own audience with the subtitles. It's the same fucking thing. But yes, there's starting to be like a little rise in Irish horror. And I live in a farm, right? I will tell you, I live in a farm. I've got an abandoned mill out my back. There was a
Oh,
guy
cool.
murdered in my mill in the 1800s.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
man, you can come to my house. I found a secret tunnel underneath my mill that is the stuff
No
Oh,
of
way.
absolute. No, like this,
incredible.
it's insane. It's fucking, and I live right beside a river. I could send you guys photos. You want to make a horror movie in Ireland? You can use my house, my
Ah, cool.
abandoned mill. I've even got my mill set up like a kill room. So Dexter room, and it's all coming. It's all fake blood and stuff. But I could try. I'll send some photographs to Richard of my
Ah,
house.
on n'a pas vu son micro là.
Guy murdered in my mill in the 1800s, and they buried his body upside down in a narrow hole. Right, so they put him in upside down, and they put a pocket watch with his body, so he would never rest in peace. And these photographs,
You,
I've got
you,
photographs of everything. I've got the photographs of the corpse, photographs of the pocket watch. The guy was a taxman, and he tried to shut down the mill, and two brothers who owned the mill killed him and buried him. So there you go.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, you're saying
do you
like
sleep?
I
Do you
sleep
do,
like a
do
log.
you sleep well? Yeah.
I sleep well. I can tell you, right, that there's been a couple of things that's happened in the house. Like I'm here by myself and in the middle of nowhere. But there was one time I heard 5 thumps in my door, just 5 knocks, and there was no one there. And it was like the fucking SWAT team came in, or like it was insane. 5 thumps. I was playing guitar, 5 thumps. The dogs went crazy, and there was no one there. And that's really the only thing. But it is
That
creepy. It is
that's
like
the old
once you
that's
see
the
it,
old mill ghost.
that's man.
Incredible. But it's
So
funny
much
because
history,
we were supposed to shoot our second movie in Ireland. Living.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
We were
okay.
supposed to shoot in Ireland, so we went to Ireland with Julien to scoot in the Connemara,
Uh-huh.
and it was wow, maybe the most beautiful land I never seen. It's
Yes, yes.
incredible,
Connemara is beautiful,
beautiful.
beautiful.
Incredible.
Yeah. I live in a place that's called the Gateway to the Sperrins, and the Sperrins is also a mountainous region here. So I live in a little mountainous region. It's in a valley, and it's no one around like once you go into my town, you're leaving my town. It's that small. There's like 3 shops, and that is it. So it's just surrounded by fields and old abandoned buildings and so much history, and it's wonderful. It's screaming for a horror movie to be made here.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
But guys, I will let you go on. I was just started going off on a tangent there, and I apologize. But I will let you go on, get on with your evening, and tend to your children. It was
Thank you.
an absolute honor talking to you guys. It really, really was.
Thank you, Gary.
I will send Richard some photographs, and sure, you can give me a little email if you like
pleasure.
my mill. Yeah. Guys, have a lovely evening. Thank you so much.
Thank
Take
you,
it
Gary.
easy.
Thank
Bye,
you,
bye.
Gary. Bye.
Bye.